Hey, what's up, y'all? So, this is a topic that a lot of people don't really know about or talk about, and um, they stay away from because nobody wants to put their failures out there. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So, if you failed your EPPP for the first time, here we are. It's probably what caused you to search for videos like this, and as you can see, there's not a lot. Um, I have taken the EPPP. I failed it the first time. Um, so there's really quick. There's going to be some things I'm going to tell you what you shouldn't do and what you should do to get you on the road to prepare to do it. And I'm going to be making videos until I pass the EPPP. Um, if you're new, the EPPP is the licensure exam in psychology for doctors to get their license. If you're here, it's because you already know for a fact what it is, and it sucks. 100% it sucks. It makes you feel like, well, for me, I'm just going to speak for me, and maybe you can relate, but it made me feel like I didn't know what I was talking about. It made me feel like I didn't understand psychology. It made me question whether I was a good psychologist, whether I was a good clinical therapist. It brought a lot of emotions for me, let alone the point that the fact that I was studying so hard, and this is information that we've already passed in school. Um, and it sucked. It's not okay. It's not okay I failed. But what I am going to do is reframe it and turn it into a situation to where it's going to benefit me and be more positive. Um, so when you fail your exam, give yourself a week. Just take a week off, no studying. Go relax. Maybe give yourself two. You need a break. You need a break. Don't jump right back into studying because you don't feel like studying. You did all that studying and then you failed. Okay, doesn't matter if you failed with a 200. It doesn't matter if you failed with a 499. You failed. That's it. My score was a 327. I failed. I did not know enough to distinguish between the answers. And that's just what it really comes down to. So here's what you don't do. Don't blame the tests on external factors. Y'all should know what that is. That's an EPP question. Don't blame don't blame you failing on external factors. Don't say the test was too hard, the questions didn't make sense. Even though that may be true, because there's some questions that were really weird that just didn't make sense. You had to spend some time and energy trying to figure it out. Blame yourself. Take accountability. What I have done is I said to myself, number one, I didn't know enough to be able to distinguish between the answers. I knew some things. I felt like really good taking the test, which was a surprise when I failed. But I didn't know enough to distinguish what they were asking. Number two, look at the practice exams. My practice exams, I was getting like 56, 60%. So, yeah, I wasn't doing really well on the practice exams. Not as well. There's some people who say you get a 65, 70%. No. I wasn't doing really well, so therefore I failed. So I already knew going in. I figured before on that Monday that I took my test on a Wednesday. I knew on Monday I probably wasn't going to pass. But I took it anyway. Once at that point in time, I was already past the deadline to move it. Whatever. I took it. I didn't know enough. And that's how I'm going to propel myself to go forward studying. I need to be able to distinguish between different things. There was two whole domains I knew for a fact I didn't know. And those were the domains I did poorly on, which was test construction and stats. So now I know for a fact what I need to do. I need to learn those areas. And this stuff is not self-explanatory. It's not. Like I said, I don't mind sharing my experience because it's real. And whether you have failed the EPPP or you haven't taken it for the first time, the thing that you need to take from this video is to understand that you are in control of what you know and what you do not know. And let's move forward from here. It sucks. Yes. It's embarrassing. Yes. It brings up a lot of negative feelings. Yes. But it does not dictate whether you're a good psychologist or not. That's not what this test does. That's not what this test does. It does not dictate whether you're a good psychologist or not. So kick that out of your head, reframe it, rework it, and let's get back into doing what you know you need to get done in order to pass this exam. Meaning, such as for myself, I have to be able to distinguish between answers, which means I need to go in and study more, get more knowledge, look at the things that I was strong at. I was strong on the ethics. I was strong in social. I know I was weak in biological. I know I was weak in biological. I wasn't like low, but I wasn't. There were some questions I didn't know. Gene disorders, things, those types of natures that I was like, well, which one is that? I didn't study that one. You can't tell what they're going to put on this exam, so you got to have a little bit of knowledge or at least be able to know the ones that you know well and be able to decide later on. So starting now, you need to put in some ironclad rules. And this is going to help you for your next time, so you're not taking it more than once. We're not taking it more than 2 or 3 times. The goal is to pass it the next time. So if you failed it multiple times, your goal is to pass it on the next time. And this is what you need to do. Beginning, you need to 1, push away that doubt. Reframe it. Number 2, you need to put in some ironclad rules. Ironclad rule for me, 20 hours a week of studying. I'm going to put in 20 hours a week of studying. However I can get it in. Whether it's an hour on Monday, 3 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours on Wednesday, 5 hours on Friday. Okay? 6 hours on Thursday, and another 4 hours on Saturday. My goal is to get 20 hours of studying a week. Now this may not be possible, so I can scale it back. Minimum 12 hours a week. Okay? But I want to push it, so I'm really going to try to hit for 15 to 20 hours a week. And do it consistently, hold myself accountable for that. Number 2, my second ironclad rule is when I take the practice exams, I'm not going to take my next test until I can pass consecutive practice exams with an 85 and above, or a standard with a standard deviation of 5. So that's an 85. Let's just drop it down. Let's make it 80. See, these are flexible. 80 or above with a standard deviation of 5, which means I have a range between 75 and 85. If I'm not between 75 and 85, I will not take my next exam. Number 3 ironclad rule. The areas that I was shown that I was marked in low, I'm going to go back and study those areas so I can become proficient in the basic knowledge of those areas. And then expand beyond that. You got to hit and target the areas that you didn't know and that you didn't do well on. It's very important. And I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that, you didn't know enough, because you could have shined in a lot of different areas. But if you saw that you were really low in certain areas, you need to study those areas and get the knowledge that you need to be able to distinguish. I'm going to say it again. Distinguish between different subjects for the answer in that question. Okay? What was that? That was my third ironclad rule. I am going to reassure myself every day that I'm a good therapist. I am a good psychologist. This is a test, and we can overcome tests. Just like how we would tell our clients to take something negative and reframe it and reshape it, we got to do the same thing with this test. Number 4, I'm going to start utilizing more resources to help me. If I don't know what a Z-score is, I need to start looking up tables and videos on how to get that. I need to ask for some tutoring and some extra help. Nothing wrong. Don't be ashamed to get the help that you need to pass this exam. That's what you got to do. And those are my 4 ironclad rules, and I'm just gonna stop at you. I have micro, mini rules, and mini goals, but you gotta set aside some ironclad rules that you have to meet the criteria of those rules in order for you to take your next exam. My biggest one was 80, at least an 80%. Right, I've dropped it down from 85 to 80 with a standard deviation of 5. Putting my range between, I need to be scoring between 75 to 85 before I take my next exam, or I don't take it. And I don't want to make this video too long because you already know what you got to do. You can feel it in your spirit, what you got to do. You can feel it in your heart. You know what you got to do to pass the exam. So I'm gonna probably leave you with this last thing as well. Don't schedule your exam right away. Give yourself some more time. Just take a breather. You're gonna get it done. There's always gonna be some exam dates open up. Take another 2 months of studying. You can get in some really good studying time. I'm trying to shoot for 20 hours, so I'm gonna take another 2 months. So by the time I see the test again, 20, 40, 60, 80 hours for the month of June, 80 hours for the month of July. That's another 160 hours on top of the hours I've already put in. Of just pure studying, hitting the domains, hitting the information to where I can be able to distinguish them from other answers. All right. So again, like I said, take some time. Look at the time that you need to, what you feel that you're going to be comfortable with. See how you're doing. Start getting those practice tests in. Start quizzing yourself. Start coming up with flashcards, with fill in the blank questions, anything that you can do to help expand your knowledge, and most importantly, be happy and enjoy this time. And yeah, it sucks that we have to study and do another test after making it through, and spend more money after making it through and becoming doctors. But it's the one last important test that you need to take. Go get licensed, get paid what you're worth, and continue to believe in yourself. So like I said, if you've made it this far, you've gotten my little tidbits on what I'm going to start to be doing. I'm going to be posting more videos like this and about my progress, and really a breakdown of what I do and how I study for the EPPP. Even I'm going to make a first time video for people who are taking it for the very first time. So whether you're taking it for the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the fifth time, the sixth time, do not give up. This is not an exam about how good of a psychologist you are. It's also not an exam about how good of a test taker you are. You have to know the information. If you don't know the knowledge, you don't know information, it don't matter how great of a test taker you are. You just don't know. You're taking chances. And ain't nobody, I don't have the resources to be consistently spending $800 for this exam. All right? So this is your boy. Subscribe, follow for more videos. Subscribe to me. I'm building my channel. My channel is going to be about a whole bunch of different things. But I thought this was important for me to do because I went looking for the same thing, couldn't find it. And no one's really out here saying, hey, you failed, now what? Go study more? Well, that didn't work the first time. No, let's start setting up some ironclad rules and things for us to be able to take our exam, study our exam, and pass the exam. And then share those methods with other people. Make a video yourself. Even if you only just make one video and leave it there, make a video about your experiences. Contact me. My information will be down below. You'll see the video below. Contact me, and we can talk about it. Maybe what you need to do, and I'm always down to help and give back, because that's what we do in life. This is why we chose this profession. Don't let it bother you. Don't let it get to you. It sucks, 100%. But let's move forward. All right. So this your boy, Dr. Titan 300. See you, scouts. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.